This video is brought to you by Carcajou Tactical and Grey Fox Strategic. For 10% off your next purchase with Grey Fox Strategic, use code DA10.
What we're going to quickly talk about is carbine setup. So I'm going to show and give you a rundown of the way that I set my platforms up. I've got two guns that are pretty much built identical. That way when I'm traveling, I'm on the road providing training. If a gun goes down, maybe I don't have time to do the maintenance on it to get it up and run again, I can quickly swap a gun out. So they're pretty much set up virtually the same, but there is a few differences. On the gun itself, the way that I have everything set up is meant to be as ambidextrous as possible. So controls on the left side, controls on the right side if I'm shooting off shoulder. But essentially from the muzzle back, fixed with a Norwegian-made suppressor on the front, a hollow sun laser, a in-force white light visual, press to activate, and as soon as you release your finger and the pressure off of it, it deactivates, which I like. Some of the pros and cons to pressing a button that stays on, well, it stays on until you press it again. I like the fact that my thumb comes off of this white light and then it's deactivated. Pressure switch on top is for the laser only. That way I don't inadvertently hit the white light by accident. And then the riser. So some people ask about the riser. I switched to the riser maybe about a year and a half ago. And you know, it's not a huge game changer in terms of the way that we perform operating the gun. What I do like about it is being able to pick up the red dot at a super low setting under night vision. So it's set high enough that when we are using night vision, we don't always have to rely on the visual, or excuse me, the infrared laser to see what it is that we're looking at. So I do like that option, having it slightly offset. It takes a little bit getting used to. And then there's some considerations with barrel sight relationship when we're shooting around obstacles and you know, anything where, because of the height, the sight may see the target, but the barrel may not. So it does take a little bit getting used to, but this is the setup that I have as a primary gun. Sometimes people ask me about the vertical hand grip. You know, why vertical hand grip? No, why not a hand stop or an angle foregrip? Personal preference. I like the vertical foregrip for combative reasons. If we're in a situation where, you know, we come into a room and somebody's not armed, you know, they're not going to deserve a bullet between the lookers. However, with a vertical foregrip, it is aggressive. And if we put that into, you know, the side of somebody's neck or on the top of their shoulder, we can use it as a lever to really control somebody. So that's why I have that set up like that. So essentially this would be the primary setup. So this would be the secondary carbine. This would be my backup in case primary went down. Slightly different is the suppressor on the front, still made by ATAC, the Norwegian-made company. It is a slight variant difference from the primary suppressor that you saw on my primary gun. Similarly, the laser system, IR visual, and white light built into this, which I like. An additional backup white light affixed, very similar to the primary setup. And what's a little bit different is the handguard, the fore-end grip, for example, is a little bit different than the primary setup. Everything else is virtually the same. The sling on this is a McCabe Solutions sling. So this is a Canadian company. So that sling has been running really well. It's light, it's comfortable. The whole setup is very similar to the primary. That way, if the primary goes down and I don't have time to fix it, I can literally reach into my gun case and grab a secondary gun that's set up virtually the same. Sometimes people ask me, well, what's with the rubber band? So with the rubber band that you see on the back end of the buffer tube assembly is when we're doing vehicle combatives, when we get inside of confined tight spaces, so picture maybe I'm the driver or the passenger, I want to position the platform somewhere in the middle console. The use of a piece of rubber band, so I'll give you option one to stow the sling in a manner that doesn't, well, it mitigates the chance of it getting fouled up on the inside of vehicles, for example, is depending on what kind of setup you have for the buttstock. If we have this space, we can tuck it away. So the system is going to be compact and the sling will have less chance of getting fouled up in the gear shifter, something inside the vehicle that it could foul up. So this is a way. The rubber band, however, is depending on the buttstock that you're using. You may or may not have the luxury of a space like that. So similarly, kind of measure it off the top of the buttstock. You can fold it on itself and then stow it with a piece of rubber band. So when it's inside the vehicle, It sits clean, keeps everything tidy. So when it's in between you, driver's seat, or the middle console, for example, less chance of it getting fouled up. And then when we get out of the vehicle, you can simply pull it out of the rubber band, swim into the sling, and then you're ready to go. So this is just a variation with the sling selection. Buttstock setup, it's all very personal dependent, but this is the way that I pretty much have my primary and alternate gun set up. So the Carbine number 3, similar setup, slight various changes. So right now, waiting for a response from Strategic Science and probably fix this with a different suppressor at some point. The iris laser indicator on the front, so the laser aimer pointer, what this one doesn't have is a white light built into it. I haven't used this one too much yet, but I do like the clear crispness of both the IR illuminator and the visual illuminator. It is a really nice light. Laser. And then on the left, very similar to the other platforms, they have the ability to manually turn on white light. So that setup is very, very similar. Pressure pad on the front for the laser setup only. That way the white light is independent and it is a conscious thought to turn that on. That way I don't inadvertently light up a room that I don't want to. The EOTech is the sight of preference for this one. So the red dot is fixed to a lower setting for the riser. And then the cheek well is in conjunction with that to get the most optimal eye relief. No magnifier on this one. No ambidextrous charging handle on this one. And the sling is provided by Blue Force Gear, excuse me. So all these platforms very, very similar. This one's still building out, but the difference is some people really prefer the larger window of EOTech, and they also like the options that the EOTech has from a 65 minute of angle. So you got a larger ring, plus you've got the offset single, the co-witness single red dot on the inside of the aperture. Different platforms, different capabilities, different overall running is very personal preference. So anyway, these are the 3. This one's still going to get built out. Once we get it to the next phase, we'll do another video and give you an update. But Colt Canada is the platform, all provided by Rampart International here in Canada. And then all the furniture on all 3 of these platforms are a variety of different parts and components and pieces. Trigger Tech is one of the triggers. Geisy is one of the triggers, and Rise Armament Blitz is one of the other triggers. So different trigger systems, different furniture, but at the end of the day, the platform runs very similarly. That way I can pick up any one of these guns at any given time and do my job well.